Hi, everyone. It's me, Dr. Cotton, author of Essential Tips for Special Education Leaders and Essential Tips for Section 504 Coordinators. Let me talk a little bit about Essential Tips for Section 504 Coordinators, which is my newly released sophomore project book. Let me give you a little preview of Chapter 4. First of all, if you're wondering what Section 504 is, Section 504 is a plan for students or persons with disabilities where it protects them from discrimination. So it's for students or persons with physical and mental impairments that substantially limits a major life activity. So that's what Section 504 is. In the school setting, we honor Section 504 plans. They're federal laws, and they're for those students with physical and mental impairments that may not necessarily need special education services. So my newest book is Essential Tips for Section 504 Coordinator. In my current role, I serve as a district level Section 504 coordinator, where I have seen and gained a lot of experiences with Section 504. So the goal of this book is to share resources and information for you in your role as a Section 504 leader, or if you're just trying to gain knowledge about Section 504, because that is something that is very prevalent in our society today. So let me talk about Chapter 4 just a little bit. Chapter 4 is titled Impairments and Disabilities. And I start with a quote: "The problem is not the person's disability. The problem is society's view of the person's abilities," which is anonymous. So in Chapter 4, I talk about impairments and disabilities. And I talk about specifically hidden impairments. And then I give a breakdown of some of the most common impairments, including mental disorders, learning disabilities, physical impairments, bones, cancer, other disorders. So throughout this chapter, I talk about specific impairments that are mentioned under the Americans with Disabilities Amendment Act that may cause a physical or mental impairment. And I give examples of those, especially those that I've seen throughout my journey as a district Section 504 leader. So that's Chapter 4. I talk about common impairments. Chapter 5, I talk about the local education agency. I've always wondered what that meant when I was in this role. What's LEA? LEA, another acronym. Well, the local education agency is the school agency or the district agency that provides those services. So in Chapter 5, I talk about the local education agency, the state departments, and talk about the U.S. Department of Education and their role with Section 504. I introduce the Office of Civil Rights, which monitors Section 504. And then I talk about those state agencies. So I go federal, OCR, and then your state, and then I talk about your district agencies. I also give some links to some helpful agencies where you can gain information about Section 504. So that is Chapter 5, the local education agency. Chapter 6, I talk about Section 504 coordinator duties. Now, every duty is different in every district. However, there are some common Section 504 duties that I have seen over time. I've been in Florida and Georgia, and some of these are very closely related, and then your district may have specific Section 504 duties. But I talk about some of those specific duties, and I provide some tips for you, the coordinators or whoever is reading the book, on how to serve to be a better coordinator. For instance, scheduling those meetings, soliciting vocational rehab and post-educational services, how you're going to collaborate with the community and serve as that person or the face of Section 504 in your district, which is why you need that knowledge is power, and you need to know about those local education agencies. So Chapter 4, 5, and 6, Section 504 coordinator duties. 5 is the local education agency and the role that the district plays. And then Chapter 4, I talk about the impairment. So gain knowledge, essential tips for Section 504 coordinators. Secure your copy. I would say buy both books, Essential Tips for Special Education Leaders and Essential Tips for Section 504 coordinators, and you would vastly increase your knowledge of students with disabilities, whether they're on the special education side or whether they're on the Section 504 side. So secure your copy, available on Amazon. Happy reading.